Hello, everyone, and welcome to our first webinar for 2024. So happy New Year to each and every one of you. I hope the new year has gotten off to a great start for many of you, and I'm excited to have this webinar here in 2024 during the month of January because it's Glaucoma Awareness Month. So we are going to be focusing on glaucoma. We're going to unpack some information. My great guest speaker is going to share with you what it's all about, some of the signs and symptoms that you may have, and some of the treatment procedures and management that goes on if you're ever diagnosed with glaucoma, or if you have a loved one that may be facing a diagnosis of glaucoma, and also some additional information and stats as we talk about glaucoma there too. It is also the birthday for the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. So happy birthday. It is MLK Day, a day of service. So I hope that you guys have been putting your work in and having a day of service. And I hope that today has been a lovely day for you. A shout out really quick to the ladies of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated. Today is their Founders Day as well. And I'll have to reach back and just say happy Founders Day to all of the Divine Nine during the month of January. I see many of you have been celebrating and having a great time. And the National Optometric Foundation would like to just say happy Founders Day to each and every one of you that's been celebrated here in January. Thank you so much for tuning in to the show. And we're going to also just make note that 2024, the National Optometric Association will be having their convention July the 11th on Thursday through July the 14th on Sunday at the Philadelphia Downtown Marriott Hotel. Okay, so go ahead and get your room and registration completed so that you'll be able to join the National Optometric Association in the City of Brotherly Love coming up here in July of 2024. Once again, thank you guys for tuning in. Protecting the vision. We're going to be focusing on glaucoma tonight. Glaucoma is one of the three silent killers of your vision, and it's one of the National Optometric Association focuses on the top diseases that's causing blindness among minority communities. We want to make sure that we put an emphasis on that. We want to make sure that we emphasize the importance of prevention and routine eye care before it's too late. We don't want you to lose your sight. Protecting the vision. We're trying to help preserve the vision. So among those top diseases is glaucoma, diabetes, and hypertension. So make sure that you guys tune in as we continue to do these webinars throughout 2024 so that we can protect your vision, help you protect a loved one's vision with this free education that our great guest speakers are sharing. Now, a little bit about the National Optometric Foundation. We are a nonprofit organization. Our president is Dr. Andre Whitehead, and we work along with the National Optometric Association in various ways. We're the financial arm for the National Optometric Association. We support them. We support students who are currently in high school, thinking about their career choice, thinking about becoming an optometrist. Students who are currently in optometry school, we try to support them as well through scholarships, thanks to our great sponsors and those who are donating to help us continue to do the great things that we strive to do throughout the year. We also try to help students get to convention, to going to the NOA convention by giving them finances and supporting them in that way there. We also would like for you guys to know that we have free eye exam events each year before the NOA convention. So I'm looking forward to that. If you guys would like to volunteer, go to their website for the National Optometric Association, and you'll be able to volunteer and be able to join us to participate in those. But those are eye exams provided to the communities that we're having the convention in, and those are free. VSP usually partners with us, providing glasses for those in the community and trying to help people see better. Many leave that day with glasses, and many will get their glasses later after that event as well. So we want to continue to do these great things, continue to provide this free education to the community, making sure that we are educating our patients along the way as well, and making sure that we'll continue to talk about these three silent killers of your vision. And as I mentioned earlier, glaucoma is one of the top diseases that we are focusing on, and we want to emphasize routine eye care so that we can protect the vision and no one has to lose their vision. Now, we want to let you know you can follow us on our website we have called the National Optometric Foundation.com. You can follow us, find out who our board members are, what we're doing, see some of the photos when we're at our events. We also have a Facebook page. If you would like to go and like our Facebook page, we would greatly appreciate that, the National Optometric Foundation. We also have a YouTube channel. On the YouTube channel, you can find all of our webinars that we have done since we started doing these webinars, and today's webinar that you can share with your family and friend, National Optometric Foundation. And most of all, if you would like to help us continue to do the great things that we're doing, you can send us your financial support. We have a cash app called $Protecting the Vision, and we would love to accept your donation. Even if it's just $20, we appreciate your $20, and we would gladly accept your donation to continue to do the great things that we're doing in various communities. And now let's get on to the show, and let me introduce you to our great speaker for tonight, who's a great friend of mine, Dr. Kendria Cartledge there. She is an optometrist, and she is a certified health educational specialist and a certified health coach. This lady runs and participates in a lot of races around the US of A. She is the owner of Vista Vision Optometric Center, which is a private practice in downtown Columbia, South Carolina. Dr. Cartledge received her Doctor of Optometry degree April of 2010 from the Southern College of Optometry in Memphis, Tennessee. She is regularly serving as a presenter at career fairs in the local schools, as well as providing vision screenings in the community. Thank you, Doc, for doing that community work. In addition, she is a member of the National Coalition of 100 Black Women in Columbia, South Carolina chapter, Midlands Optometric Society, and a board member of PALSS. Dr. Cartledge enjoys spending quality time, this is important, it's quality time with her husband, her daughter, her stepson, and extended family and friends. And in her spare time, she enjoys cooking, baking, bowling, listening to music, playing video games, and attending sporting events. Go Clemson, that's for Dr. Cartledge, y'all, and reading. She loves to participate in her 5K running events and playing with Glam Squad Women's Rec League kickball team. Very active. In addition, she is an avid sports fan and loves cheering on, guess who? Clemson Tigers. Let's welcome Dr. Cartledge to the show. Thank you, Doc, for being on the show and being our first guest speaker for our first webinar here in 2024. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Dr. Brown. Thank you for that wonderful introduction. I'm so happy that you had me on the show tonight. I'm ready to just share some great information concerning glaucoma. Again, thank you, and I hope I leave something that'll help somebody or that'll be helpful to your family.
Absolutely. I know you are going to unpack some great information, and I think it's important that we are starting the year out with this topic, you know, especially since it's under that category of being a silent thief of vision. You know, one of the three silent killers of your vision there, glaucoma. So if you would, you know, our listeners have been waiting. They've been asking, what is the topic going to be for this month? So we put the flyers out there and they're ready to hear from you, telling us first, starting out, what is glaucoma? If you could just share that with our listeners.
Okay, so glaucoma is a group of eye diseases. There's several different types of glaucoma. I won't go into all the details on that, but there's several different types of glaucoma that can cause damage to a structure at the back of the eye called the optic nerve. The optic nerve is important because it sends impulses to the brain so that you're able to have good sight and good vision. What happens with glaucoma is that the optic nerve gets damaged at the back of the eye, and it can cause vision loss and permanent blindness.
So that optic nerve gets damaged. That's the part of the back of the eye that sends the signal to the brain so that we can see,
Exactly.
and you can lose your vision.
Exactly.
And that vision loss, can you recover it? You know,
Unfortunately can't.
yeah.
Unfortunately can't.
So guys, this is why we're talking about this at the beginning of the year, because this could be something that runs in your family, hereditary. And if you don't go and get checked and have your regular eye exams with an optometrist, this could be something that could easily be overlooked. But it also can be detected if you go see an optometrist. And Dr. Carlich is there in Columbia. If you're local, you can go see her. She got her own practice. Be glad to try to get you on the schedule and try to prevent these things from affecting and robbing you of your sight there as well. And as we continue to go along, I want you to just share with them, some causes for glaucoma, and maybe talk about briefly who is at risk for glaucoma when we are talking about this top disease that can cause blindness for minority communities.
Okay, so the cause of glaucoma, there is a fluid that flows in and out the front surface of the eye to provide nourishment and keep the eye healthy. What happens in glaucoma is that fluid is not able to drain out like it should. Therefore, it puts pressure on that optic nerve and can cause glaucoma. And that pressure, as it builds up, it puts more force on that optic nerve, which causes damage to that nerve. And that's where we get the vision loss and the blindness associated with glaucoma. Who is at risk for glaucoma? Pretty much anybody is at risk for glaucoma. If you have a set of eyes, you can get glaucoma. But people that are at higher risk are African Americans over the age of 40, adults, all adults 60 and older, especially Hispanics, Latinos, African Americans. Anybody that has a family history of someone having glaucoma in your family, definitely immediate family, mother, father, siblings, puts you at a higher risk for developing glaucoma. If you've had an eye injury in the past where you sustained a hit or injury to the eye, that can put you at a risk for developing glaucoma. You may not develop it right then and there. It may develop years down the road. So you definitely want to make sure that you get those annual eye exams, annual follow-ups to make sure that you're not developing glaucoma after you suffered an eye injury. In addition, anybody that has high blood pressure, diabetes, and again, like I said, a previous eye injury will definitely put you at risk for developing glaucoma. You always want to make sure to properly control your diabetes, your high blood pressure, so that'll kind of lessen the risk of you developing glaucoma, because when those conditions get uncontrolled, can definitely cause you to develop glaucoma.
A lot of people do not realize, optometrists, they're known as the gatekeepers of the healthcare system there, because many times your optometrist may detect something that they can refer you to your primary care doctor for management or treatment options as well there, including diabetes, depending on what they may find in the back of the eye and the retina. They may have to send you back to your primary care doctor and say, hey, there's a possibility of this going on, So we work hand in hand, is what I'm trying to say, with your primary care physician there, and trying to help take care of you. So as Doc said, if your blood pressure is not controlled well, if your diabetes, your sugar levels, your glucose levels, if they're not where they should be in a normal range, you haven't had them checked, get checked. We're encouraging you to get those things checked with your primary care doctor so that it doesn't affect other parts of your body. The eye is one of the parts of the body that can be affected. When that happens, they'll put you at a higher risk of glaucoma, as she just reviewed with us. And also, just your family history can lead you there as well, being hit in the eye. So thanks, Doc, for breaking down those risk factors for our listening audience there. And if you would just talk with them about some of the symptoms there, if there's any that you would like to share for glaucoma or how it can be treated and managed, if someone is diagnosed with glaucoma.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Brown.
Yep.
The symptoms of glaucoma, typically, especially if it's in the early stages, there are no symptoms of glaucoma in the beginning stages. Your vision will be normal. Your pressure may be high, and you won't have any symptoms that your pressure is high. You'll still see fine, and there's no associated pain with the pressure being high in some cases. So there are oftentimes no symptoms as far as glaucoma is concerned. If you have glaucoma and it goes untreated for an extended period of time, and it starts to affect that optic nerve, cause damage. As that pressure is higher, it puts more force, which causes that damage to the optic nerve. It'll cause you to lose your peripheral vision, your side vision. That'll start to fail. You'll still be able to see objects straight ahead, but you will definitely have trouble seeing things over to the side. You may have trouble with your mobility as it relates to that loss of peripheral vision. Over time, if it continues to go in that path where there is no treatment, there can be complete loss of vision associated with glaucoma. And again, that vision loss is not reversible. Excuse me. As far as treatment of glaucoma, typically we start out with starting you on a eye drop to help to see if we can lower that pressure, to take that force off that nerve so you don't get any further damage to that optic nerve. Excuse me. So initially, after you started on one drop, we'll have you come back in and check your pressures. Typically 4 to 6 weeks, we'll bring you back in and see how that drop is working. Make sure you're not having any associated side effects from using that drop. If that drop seems to be working efficiently and lowering the eye pressure as we deem necessary, we will follow up with you between 4 to 6 months just to continue keeping a watch on things, to making sure that pressure is staying in control in a good range where you don't experience any vision loss or any progression of your glaucoma. If that one drop, after you've been on that drop and we've seen that it works, sometimes it may no longer work and we may have to add on an additional drop. Sometimes the additional drop will help lower the pressure, but then again, there may be instances where the pressure, even with an additional eye drop, still isn't as low as we need it to be to prevent any further vision loss. At that point, I would refer you out to an ophthalmologist, and they will assess you and they will perform any necessary surgeries or laser surgery or either a different structural surgery to help lower that eye pressure so you don't get any progression of your glaucoma, so you don't develop any vision loss. So the main treatments are, again, eye drops. And if those eye drops do not work over time, we will send you to see a specialist to have an eye surgery to help lower your eye pressures.
So I'm finding out that many people who possibly have glaucoma do not know it, because you hit the nail on the head. There are no symptoms, asymptomatic, and so I try to encourage people, Doc. A lot of the guys, I always thank the ladies for dragging their husbands into the office or their dads into the office or their brothers, because men feel like they don't need to go see the doctor until it's like aching pain. If it's not aching and it's not bothering them, then they don't feel like they need to get checked. But you do, guys, you need to get checked. Everyone, you need to get checked. Don't delay, do it today. You need to get your eyes examined by an optometrist. So go ahead, pick up the phone, call your optometrist office. They will be closed now probably, but you can leave them a message and they'll call you back to get you scheduled. But we want you to be aware. A lot of times people are unaware and they're walking around, they are affected by glaucoma and they don't know because it's asymptomatic. Many developing countries, people are going blind because they didn't realize they had glaucoma. And it's something that's gradually still in their vision over time. They're, and causing them to lose that peripheral vision, unlike macular degeneration where they're losing their central vision there. So I just wanted to share there. It says it's estimated that more than 11 million individuals will be bilaterally blind due to glaucoma, and that was predicted 3 years ago.
Wow.
So a lot of people are losing their sight, and this can be prevented. So that's why we emphasize routine eye care. That's why we focus on these three solid killers of vision, and glaucomas included, so that we could try to help prevent the loss of vision there. So Dr. Cartledge is just trying to introduce you guys to what glaucoma is. And I want her to also tell you, she talked about treatment, starting with the eye drops there, maybe having to refer you out to a specialist. But also, as an optometrist, the role that she plays is also detecting this disease here, glaucoma. So I want her to just talk a little bit about how you go about detecting glaucoma when patients come to see you.
So as far as the detection of glaucoma, I definitely encourage everyone to make sure they get their annual eye exams. During these annual eye exams, you should be having your eyes dilated. That's where drops are placed into the eye to allow me to see better the health of the back of the eye. If upon a dilated eye exam, I determine that your eye pressures are high, or that optic nerve, that structure at the back of the eye where that pressure from that fluid not flowing properly puts damage on that nerve. If I determine that you need treatment for glaucoma, I would then either some days I start patients on an eye drop if their eye pressures are extremely high when they're in the office, or some days if they're not overly high, I may monitor and have them come back and do further testing to see if we need to start them on eye drops. With the further testing, we will do several different scans of the eye to check to see if there's any actual damage of that nerve. We'll do a side vision test where we check your peripheral vision. You'll press a button while you're looking at lights flashing all around to see if you miss any of those lights that are flashing around. There's other factors that affect glaucoma and whether or not you may or not have glaucoma. So we also do additional testing as far as that's concerned to see if the front surface of your eye is thick or thin, and that can either make your eye pressures higher or it can make your eye pressures lower. So that all impacts whether or not you may have glaucoma. So we do these tests every so often. For individuals that have glaucoma, I have them come back every 4 to 6 months to complete these tests to make sure that they're not experiencing any progression of their glaucoma, to make sure we don't need to start them on any additional eye drops or possibly refer them out for that surgery. So definitely just want to make sure that you stay on top of your annual eye care for yourself as well as your family, and make sure that you're following up with these appointments that are scheduled. I know a lot of people think that, hey, you're just trying to keep bringing me back in the office to make more money, but no, we're actually trying to follow a progressive condition that will cause you to lose your vision, and it has to be monitored every so often. You can't just come to see me once a year thinking that, oh, I'm fine using my drops, and you show back up in a year or two and you may have completely lost vision in one eye. I've had that happen with several patients. They were like, oh, I was fine, I was using the drops, but then I ran out and I'm showing up about 2 years later to see you and I can't see out of one eye. So just make sure you want to follow up with the eye exams. And again, one thing that I always like to tell people that are using the drops don't make your vision any better. They're not going to make your eyes feel better. It has only the sole purpose to lower that eye pressure so you don't get any damage. So I have some patients that'll say, oh, I used the drops and it didn't make me see any better. Well, that's not the goal. The goal is to lower that eye pressure so you don't get any damage to that optic nerve, which will result in blindness.
You're talking good tonight, Doc. I mean, that's some good golden nuggets right there. Trying to find a word to say there. That's the golden nugget. Don't stop the drops. Communicate, follow up with your optometrist, stay in touch with your optometrist, because that your optometrist is there to help you. All right. When you get a plan developed with your optometrist, and I say with, not from, because it's a two-way communication. So you develop that plan, Don't change that plan without communicating with your doctor. Your doctor need to know so that you don't lose sight there. As she told you, someone using drops, they stopped the drops because they thought, oh, I'm supposed to feel something, feel differently. Well, the drops are actually helping to prevent you from losing sight, keeping that pressure lower so it doesn't cause damage. And she talks about how that fluid builds up and it causes pressure on the optic nerve in the back of the eye, and you damage the nerve fibers, and the signal can't get to the visual cortex. Lights out. So we don't want that to happen. We want to preserve, we want to protect the vision there. And that's some great information that was shared there so that you can understand as the patient, please follow up with your optometrist. Sometimes your optometrist may ask you to come back because of glaucoma. They may ask you to come back 3 times or 4 times out of the year just so that they can check that pressure, depending on where you are. Every case is different, but that plan is developed between you and your optometrist. Don't change the plan. Always communicate with your optometrist there, please, because we don't want you to stop the drops and then lose your vision there. We want you to keep your vision. And we're talking about glaucoma. We're talking about glaucoma, the second leading cause of blindness. So it's important that we catch this early on as far as our webinar topic in 2024 so that we can make sure that people know how important it is to get checked, get your eyes examined, do the routine eye care, get dilated. Go to the optometrist's office prepared to be dilated. Don't ask the optometrist, are you going to dilate me today? Be prepared for dilation, or be prepared to do other retinal camera testing that they're going to do, photos that they need to do in order to see the back of your eye, because you don't want to just go to the optometrist's office and not get the best care because they feel you don't have time, or you may not want to do the testing that they know is important for you. They're going to suggest these things to you, but we want to make sure that you are on board as well. It's two-way conversation. So make sure you go prepared for the full eye exam experience, not just to get your glasses prescription updated, not just to get your new pair of contacts or your color contact lenses. Get the health part of your eye exam taken care of as well while you're with your optometrist. It's important because it's estimated roughly 3 million people in the United States have been diagnosed with glaucoma. If you don't go, you don't know. So we want to make sure you go and get your eyes examined, okay? That's my soapbox right there for this portion of it there. So I want to let you guys know this is the National Optometric Foundation. We have a website. You can continue to follow us, learn more about what we do as we're supporting the National Optometric Association financially and supporting the students in the National Optometric Student Association as well throughout the year. And if we also have a Facebook page, we have a YouTube channel, National Optometric Foundation, and we also have a Cash App. So before this webinar ends, if one of you would please just send us a nice little donation. We have a Cash App, $ protecting the vision, and you will allow us to continue to do the great things that we do in various communities and supporting our students with scholarships as well. Thank you so much. And so we're going to get back to the show. Dr. Cartledge, we're going to bring her back on the show. And because you talked about the fluid building up in the eye and that leading to glaucoma because of damage to the optic nerve. But if I go to my optometrist, I'm speaking as a patient, if I go to my optometrist and they tell me that I have high pressures, does that mean I have glaucoma?
So not necessarily. You could have higher eye pressures, but you may not have that damage associated with glaucoma.
So it's a combination of the two.
Right. Typically,
okay.
Yes. So you could have higher eye pressures, which is known as ocular hypertension, but you may not have that damage to your optic nerve. You may not be losing any vision. You may not be losing any of your peripheral vision. Even if you have those higher eye pressures, of course, you still need to be monitored every so often.
Right.
Definitely want to make sure you follow up because there is a risk for you to convert to glaucoma if your eye pressures are higher.
Wow.
So definitely
Wow.
just want to make sure you follow up, follow your doctor's orders, and then ask questions if you don't understand something. I do have some patients that say, I'll sit and discuss with them. This is your risk for developing glaucoma with your eye pressures being higher. And I'll give them the option. Do you want to start drops now, or do you want us to just monitor every so often? And some people are like, hey, everybody in my family has glaucoma. I'm going to go ahead and start these drops. Other people are
Wow.
more, a little more lax, and they'll say, let's kind of wait and see. And
Mm.
I go with whatever they want to do, as long as I know they don't have any damage to that optic nerve. And then I stress to them that, hey, don't come back to me 2 years from now. You got to come back to me in about 6 months so we can check your
Right.
pressures again, see how they're doing. So definitely, if you have eye pressures, high eye pressures, it doesn't necessarily mean that you have glaucoma, but it still means that we need to keep a close watch and make sure you don't develop glaucoma.
Absolutely. And I like the way that you're talking about how you have the conversation with the patient and allow the patient to participate in their care, making that decision. You want to start now, you want to start later. This is what it is. This is what I see. This is what we know, which way you want to go. That's really nice. That's part of why patients say you have good bedside manners, because you're opening that communication and allowing them to participate in their care versus just telling them, and I
Right.
like that. And as it's important, one of the things that you hit on is that time frame. Make sure that you don't try to extend that time frame when you return back to your optometrist there. If something comes up and you can't make that appointment, please make sure you call and get in touch with your eye doctor so that they can try to get you in as soon as possible. Things happen. We understand that. What we don't want to happen is loss of communication. Communication is key, whether you're talking about relationships with a spouse, or relationships with a friend or business partner, or a relationship with your optometrist, your doctor, your primary care provider. So make sure that you are staying in touch with your doctor so that the best care is given to you. I want to just check to see if my
'Cause I want to add
viewers out
one
there
thing
are,
in there. Want
yes.
to add one thing in there. Also, when you're getting your eye pressures checking, and I've learned this from my own personal experience, make sure you don't hold your breath. Breathe normal. Because when you
Yeah.
hold your breath,
So,
it makes your eye pressures go higher. So you may end up
right.
on glaucoma drops, and you don't necessarily need them. So don't hold your breath when you get your eye pressures checked.
True story. True story. Do not hold your breath when you're having your pressure check. It can cause you to have false readings, increased pressure reading, and your doctor may be having you on drops, and you're not so you don't need to be on drops there. So just relax. Just know it's a part of the routine care that you're going to get. Nothing is going to happen to you that's going to hurt you when you go see your optometrist. You're going to be safe. And we have to constantly say this. I'm in practice with my wife, Dr. Brown, and we see a lot of children. And you have to constantly remind them that it's going to be okay. They come in
Right.
with fear. We're not sure what their family members or their siblings may have told them. So we have to just reassure them that everything is going to be okay. We're going to walk you through every step there. And especially when we're checking their pressures. We went through a lot of that today, checking pressures for them. So you guys just come in, relax. If you have a fear, let your optometrist know so they can know to take it a little slow. Take a little bit slower with you and make sure that you feel comfortable while you're doing the testing, so there are no false readings there as well. And one of the things that often get talked about there as well as we do this show. The show is called Protecting the Vision. A lot of people want to know, how can I protect my vision, doc? As a patient, is there something I can do Can I eat something? Can I run like you run those 5K races there? What can I do to protect my vision? If you can help us.
So to protect your vision, of course, early detection, early treatment, as far as glaucoma is concerned, are the best things to do to protect your vision. You definitely want to make sure, as I stated already, make sure you follow up with the care plan that we provide. Use the eye drops as instructed. If you have any questions about the drops, or the drops are causing any side effects or anything that's uncomfortable for you or you're not able to tolerate, definitely want to let your optometrist know. So, and just don't stop the drops just because, oh, they make my eyes red, or, oh, they sting when they go in. Definitely want to communicate that with your eye doctor, so they can develop another plan of action. Just don't want to stop the drops, again, as Dr. Chim stated. Want to communicate with your doctor. Again, make sure you get the annual exams, especially if you're at higher risk, or if you have that family member that had a family history of glaucoma. Want to make sure you get that eye exam, that dilated eye exam. Don't skip out on the dilation. I know it's inconvenient. No, it makes your vision blurry. I had mine done last month, and I tried to go back to work, and it was a little
Good
difficult.
job.
But it's only 2 hours of inconvenience versus a lifetime of having vision loss. So I definitely want to take that extra step. Make sure
Say
you
that
get
one more time, Doc. Say that one more time for the people in the back. Say that sentence one more time. That inconvenience part.
right. Getting dilated is only a 2-hour inconvenience versus what could potentially be a lifetime of vision loss if this condition is not detected. So definitely want to make sure you do that whenever you're working. If you're working in around parts or anything that's hazardous, definitely want to make sure that you have on those safety goggles. When you're participating in sports, make sure you want to have on that proper eye protection. Um, those are some of the things that you can do to protect your vision. Again, good, healthy, balanced diet is always good. Cardiovascular exercise is good to help as far as the blood flow. And that can also help with your blood pressure and diabetes, which are some of the conditions that'll cause the glaucoma to progress. So definitely just want to try to have a good overall healthy lifestyle. And the main thing is just get checked. Just follow the doctor's orders.
Yes, yes. Just get checked, guys. Get checked. Don't delay. Do it today. Call your optometrist and get on their schedule. Get on their calendar for 2024. We want you to see your best, and we want you to keep your vision throughout the year of 2024. Too many people have lost their sight due to glaucoma. Too many people have lost their sight because they procrastinated getting on their optometrist schedule. Too many people are walking around at risk for glaucoma, and they are unaware. They don't know it, so we want to educate you tonight. Free education. Doc's taking her time, sharing her wisdom, her experiences with patients, real life stuff share with you about glaucoma, and making sure that you understand the importance of it there. So don't just keep this knowledge to yourself. Share this webinar. There's a link there from our YouTube page there, National Optometric Foundation. Share the link with your church. Share it with your sports team, your fraternity, sorority. Share it with your family and friends so that they can be educated as well. We don't want anyone in your circle losing their sight because of glaucoma. All right, so get connected with your optometrist. It's very important there that you do that. There's a lot of people affected by glaucoma. Let's talk about numbers here. Numbers, statistics there that you may have, Doc, about how many people are impacted by glaucoma, if you would, please.
In the United States, there are 3 million individuals affected with glaucoma. And I feel like that number is probably actually higher, considering the people that don't go to get eye exams, don't think that getting the eye exam is important. So definitely feel like the number is higher. I believe worldwide there's 11 million people affected with glaucoma. So it's definitely a prevalent disease, and it's definitely one of the leading causes of blindness. So just something simple as a dilated eye exam can help catch this condition and help prevent you from having vision loss associated with glaucoma. So the numbers are astounding. So just want to make sure again that you're aware of where you stand.
That's right. And those people affected by glaucoma, that number is probably higher, as you said there, because I know that the population for the U.S. has increased there. So there's more people walking around now than ever before. And it's going to continue to grow there. But we do not want you to lose your vision because of glaucoma. So as we get near this webinar talking about glaucoma, which is the second leading cause of blindness, we want to talk about reversible vision loss. We touched upon it a little bit there. You may have something else extra to add to it. Is vision loss reversible? Vision loss from glaucoma, is it reversible? As we're wrapping up this webinar.
Unfortunately not. Vision loss associated with glaucoma is irreversible. Once the damage is done, it's done. We can't do anything to make you go back to seeing the way that you were seeing prior. No surgeries, no further eye drops can reverse that vision loss, sadly. The only thing that we can do at that point is just try to help you better cope with the loss of your vision, provide aids and tools to help you cope in your environment. There's low vision where you could get training to better be able to move around your home, be able to do any activities of daily living that you aren't able to do because of your vision loss. So again, no, can't reverse the loss associated with glaucoma. So definitely want to make sure we're proactive and that we don't get to that point where we lose any vision associated with glaucoma.
Absolutely. Vision loss changes your life.
Right.
It changes your life a lot. We see this. We may have family and friends who are experiencing this. We do have family and friends who are on drops trying to prevent this from happening by controlling the pressure, as Doc was sharing with you guys tonight. So make sure that you review this webinar, take some of the things that have been shared with you and apply them. That's the important part about the webinars. Listening is good, applying is the best. So apply some of these techniques, some of these things that's been shared, especially the one about staying in communication with your doctor, not avoiding the time getting your eye exam this year for 2024. Get on your optometrist schedule so that you can get your eyes examined and be prepared for dilation. Be prepared for pressure checking so that we can make sure that your eyes are in the best state possible there. Doc shared a lot of great information with you guys when it comes to glaucoma, making sure that you know it's asymptomatic. So it's the silent thief of your vision there. So we want to make sure that you go to your optometrist so that it can be detected. And if it's detected, it can be managed and properly treated, starting out with the drops there to help lower the pressure so the pressure doesn't affect the optic nerve in the back. I appreciate Dr. Kendria Carlich. Thank you, Doc, for being our guest speaker here on the webinar. You have done your day of service here on MLK Day. Happy birthday to Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. We want to thank you for serving on this day and being our great guest speaker, our first guest speaker on the webinar for the National Optometric Foundation. We look forward to maybe in the future having you back on a different topic there and making sure that you know that your information shared is greatly appreciated and it's going to help someone today, tomorrow, and the future to come because it's going to be on our YouTube channel, National Optometric Foundation. Now, as we wrap this session up.
I appreciate it. Thank you for inviting me and I enjoyed my time. Thank you.
Or would you like to share? Do you have a website or if you're on any social media platforms that you would like to share with the followers if they want to find you, follow you, or come see you for their eye exam there? You can do that as you're signing off.
Okay. Again, as Dr. Brown stated, my practice, Vista Vision Optometric Center, is located in downtown Columbia. Our website is Vista, VISTA VistaVisionSC.com. You can also look me up on Facebook as well as Instagram. If you're local to the Columbia area, but be more than happy to take care of all of your eye care needs for you and your family.
Excellent. Thank you
located
again.
Downtown, 1513 Greg Street. Our phone number is 803-254-4951.
There you go, folks. Don't delay. She just gave you the key right there to getting your eyes examined. If you're local here in the Columbia area, you can be out in Charlotte. You can travel to see her. You know, no matter where you are, you can travel. She gave you the number. You got the address. No excuses for 2024. Don't delay. Get your eyes examined. Dr. Carlich, thank you so much for being on the show. I'm going to close out the show here as I share a quote from the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Since we're talking about silent killers, one of the quotes he said, "Our lives begin to end the day we become silent about things that matter." So don't be silent about the things that matter in life. You know what those things may be. You know, everybody have their own definition of what those things may be, but don't be silent about the things that matter in life. And speaking of education, he says, the function of education, which is what we try to do on these webinars, is to teach one to think intensively and to think critically. Intelligence plus character, that is the goal of true education. All right, guys, so never stop learning. We celebrate MLK Day. We thank the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King for all of his efforts and his time that he put into bringing about positive change around not just his state, not just the United States, but worldwide. Thank you, Dr. King, as we honor you on MLK Day, a day of service. And thank you, Doc, once again for being on our webinar, and I'll go ahead and close out the show. Thank you guys once again for tuning in on our first webinar here in 2024, Protecting the Vision, as we talked about Glaucoma Awareness Month. And we shared all about glaucoma, what it is, the fact that it's asymptomatic, the fact of how optometrists go about detecting glaucoma, treating it, managing it, some of the things that you should know that is irreversible when it comes to communicating to your doctor if they put you on certain medications. All of those things that Dr. Kendria Cartless shared tonight is very important. And I'm so thankful that she took time out of her busy schedule to give this free educational opportunity for the public. And we want to thank you guys for tuning in. And we're thanking you in advance for not just keeping this to yourself, but sharing it with others. And if you would like to learn more about the National Optometric Foundation, I'm the treasurer for the National Optometric Foundation. We have board members. Our president currently is Dr. Andre Whitehead. We have a website where you can go and learn more about us, nationaloptometricfoundation.com. We have YouTube channel where you can see the webinars that we've done previously and learn more when it comes to eye health, your overall body health. And we have that at the National Optometric Foundation and our Facebook page, National Optometric Foundation. And once again, we have a Cash App. If you would like to contribute, we have a Cash App $ Protecting the Vision. The National Optometric Foundation is a nonprofit organization. We're the financial arm for the National Optometric Association, and we'll continue to support those bright students who are thinking about becoming an optometrist, who are currently in optometry school, to become an optometrist there in various ways through scholarships, financial support to get to the convention. And we ask that you guys who are optometrists, and you may catch this webinar, be prepared. July the 11th on Thursday, the NOA is coming to town in the city of brotherly love, Philadelphia, downtown at the Marriott. So get your registration, get your rooms all in place so that you can join the NOA family and have a great time while learning as well. This is Timothy Brown, treasurer for the National Optometric Foundation. It has been my pleasure to bring you this webinar tonight, and I'll see you on our next webinar. Thank you.